Alright, so today I have my Blue Eyes Chaos Max Ritual deck profile. And a couple things before I do get into the deck profile. I chose not to have an extra deck with this because it really doesn't need the extra deck. I mean, you can put an extra deck in it, but you really don't need it. And if I did suggest an extra deck, it would probably mainly be an Xyz extra deck. But again, you don't need it. Other than that, there's nothing else really to say but to get into the deck profile. So we're going to have monsters first, obviously, and the star of the deck is Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon, because he's what I want to see most in the deck, because he's a 4,000 beat stick with double piercing damage, so he's obviously really overpowered. After him, we have 3 vanilla Blue Eyes, because you can't really make a Blue Eyes deck without having 3 of the original Blue Eyes. It's just wrong. But going with that, I also put in 3 Blue Eyes alternative White Dragons so that I can have the extra blowing up power and then just the special summons when I need them. Next, I only have 1 Dragon Spirit of White, because I don't really need him that much, but it is nice to get rid of some of the cards in my opponent's extra or back row. So banishing cards is nice, and this deck is very good at bringing him back to life or summoning him from the deck when I do need him. So that works out well. Next, 2 Keeper of the Shrine, just so I can protect myself if my field does happen to get blown up, which doesn't happen very often because this Chaos Max can't be targeted or destroyed by anything. So it's very hard to blow up the field, but he's there just in case. Next, we have 2 Decoy Dragons, and Decoy Dragon is just so I can get my Blue Eyes back out on the field so that I can start pounding my opponent again. Other than that, he's just really annoying for my opponents. 1 Maiden with Eyes of Blue, just in case I do need her. I mean, this deck obviously doesn't need it, but it is nice to have a little added protection to it, because I had my girlfriend complain before I rebuilt the deck that, oh, you need to put a little more defense in this deck. Well, I decided to make it so defense wasn't necessary, but I did have precautions now. So, yeah. Next, we have 2 Whitestone of Ancients. This card's really good because I can get a Blue Eyes monster to my field, like Dragon Spirit of White, so I can banish something when it gets destroyed at the end of the turn. Also, when it's in my graveyard, I can just banish it from the graveyard and get some of my Blue Eyes cards back to my hand if I need them. Like, say, Chaos Max. Sometimes you can get Chaos Max with them. Something I put in here that I don't really think anybody thought of was the Prediction Princess cards. I found that they were actually really good with any ritual deck. They didn't have to just go with Prediction Princess. Like Prediction Princess Crystaldyne right here. She's a level 5, 20 or 1400 attack, 2200 defense, but her effect is what I'm happy with, because when she's flipped, it doesn't have to be flipped summoned, just flipped, I can add a ritual monster from my deck or graveyard back to my hand. So if I have Chaos Max in my, or say I have like all 3 Chaos Maxes in my graveyard for some reason, I can bring them back to my hand with Prediction Princess Crystaldyne. And then also, to continue with Prediction Princesses, I have Prediction Princess Arrow Siliph. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure, but that's okay. She's actually pretty weak in terms of attack and defense. She's only got 1,000 attack, 1,400 defense. But again, I don't have the Prediction Princesses for their stats. I have them for their effects. And her effect is when she's flipped, you can add a ritual spell from the deck or graveyard to the hand. And when I get to those, I'll show you, obviously. But, yeah. there's that. And then for a little added protection, just to piss off more people, I suppose, I added a Rainbow Kuriboh just to stop the attacks. And then if I ever do have a blank field, I can just bring them back to the field so I can block an attack, obviously. But that normally doesn't happen, but that's okay. That is all the monsters. Now we're going to get into the spells. I have one advanced ritual art. I would like to run 2 of this, but I don't have a second one, unfortunately. I hope to get that soon. It would be a lot better to have 2 over 1, but it doesn't need to be at 2, I suppose. 1 is good enough. It's very nice because I can have a Chaos Max in my hand, no other level 8s. I could play this and then just take a Blue Eyes out of my deck and send it to the graveyard and ritual summon that way. So it is nice for the ritual summons, but you don't really need more than 1. 2 is nice, though. Next, we have 2 Chaos Form for the normal ritual summon of Chaos Max. And if I have to, I can banish a Blue Eyes card from my graveyard to ritual summon 2. But normally that doesn't happen. Yeah. Next, I have 3 Return of the Dragon Lords, just so I can bring back my dragons and have a little extra protection. Other than that, that's about it. Next is 2 Melody of Awakening Dragon. Melody of Awakening Dragon is nice for 2 reasons. 1, I could use it to get dragons to my hand, and second, I could use it as a pitch for my 2 Twin Twisters as well. So it has, if I don't really need it and to bring me dragons, then it's good for Twin Twister. Next I have 1 Ruins of the Divine Dragon Lords. This doesn't really need to be in there, but it actually is very nice because pretty much all the time you're going to have a level 8 dragon on the field. I mean, you can have 7 or 8 for this card, but I obviously have 8 all the time. Since I do have those level 8s, then I can, when a monster is special summon, I can just be like, oh, well, it has no effects until the end of the turn anyways now. So you're screwed. You just have a beat stick or whatever the heck you have. But, yeah. 1 Pot of Duality just to, I don't know, get another extra card if I don't feel like my hand is good. Yeah, that's about it. And then 1 trade-in for when I don't actually need like a Blue Eyes in my hand or whatever. I can just pitch it to get 2 cards. Swords of Swords of Concealing Light. Actually very, very overpowered with this deck because Chaos Max has its double piercing damage for when you attack a defense position monster. So say I could have a Chaos Max on the field and you got whatever monsters on my opponent's side of the field, right? And this is, and I draw into this, I'd be like, oh, well, all your monsters are going to go face down defense position, and now I'm going to attack you and deal double piercing, which oftentimes can end the game, end the duel. I mean, not always, but it will do it, and it's very, very nice. Next, we have Burial, whatever, from a different dimension, so I can bring back my Return of the Dragon Lords or my White Stone of Ancients back from the banishment so that I can use their graveyard abilities again. And that's always nice, so. That's it for the spells. Now we're going to move on to the traps. We have 1 Mirror Force, just to get rid of my opponent's field if I ever have to. You can switch this out with any other Mirror Force, really, but you don't need to. Next, we got Void Trap Hole to stop a summon of a 2,000 or higher attack monster that has effects, just so I can get a monster off the field so I don't have to worry about it. Then we have Black Horn of Heaven, which just stops the special summon in general, which is, again, nice. And then, last but not least, we have Photon Current. This is nice with all my Blue Eyes cards, except for Chaos Max, because he's a dark monster. and Photon Current works with light dragon types only, so obviously it doesn't work very well with him. But what it does is it gives my dragon, say I have a Blue Eyes White Dragon on the field, and somebody's got like, I don't know, a Slifer the Sky Dragon on the field. He's got 6,000 attack. Well, he's going to attack my Blue Eyes, and I'm going to take 3,000. Well, I activate Photon Current, and my Blue Eyes gains that 6,000 attack of the Slifer. So therefore, he has 9,000, and then his monster gets destroyed instead of mine being destroyed. And that'd be it. That's the deck profile. If you have any suggestions, leave it in the comments so I can read them, and then I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Other than that, I guess I would say have a nice day, and like and subscribe. Thank you.